Hercules, y'all. It's good. It's Shot Sage returning for another amazing video. What it do? Oh, what's up? What's up? I got your nigga in the hood. Hey, what it is? Hope. Oh, what's up? What's up? Say no. What's up, y'all? Hey, how y'all doing? Welcome back. It is I again, and we gonna get right into it. Okay, so today's topic is about how to survive as the black sheep of the family. Okay, Spirit has been telling me to put this out because I'm sure there's other people who can relate to my position and what I'm in and what I've been through. And also, just a disclaimer, I'm a kind of need y'all to bear with me a little bit. I'm really fixated on perfection when it comes to my videos, but this topic is hits a little home for me because I've been ostracized by my family because I was different, and it's caused me to go into a lot of healing, but that healing has turned into me becoming a phoenix and gathering strength. Okay, and Spirit has been telling me just to communicate my story because it's other people out here that relate to my story. So that's my objective of this video. It's been on my heart for a long time to do this, and I feel like me making this video and speaking on these issues would contribute to not only my healing, but anyone else who needs it. Okay, so I'm gonna try to be authentic as possible without releasing the fear of being judged. Okay, so I just ask for your compassion. That's all. Let's get into it. Okay, so if you are considered, or if you have an idea that you're considered the black sheep of the family, there are plenty of reasons why there's a reason for everything, and I'm here to give you the left brain version and the right brain version. Okay, so when you are the black sheep of the family, you are born because the way that your family has been living the last 3, 4, 5, 6 generations is not beneficial in alignment to the planet. Okay, it's something that's within your family that needs to be changed, and you have been chosen to change it and to go the opposite direction, to be an example and to clear out generational trauma. I know it's not fair. It's like, why me? Why do I have to do it? But you know, heavy is those, what's the quote? Heavy is he who wears the crown. Okay, it is what it is, right? So bottom line, first and foremost, and I know that sounds kind of corny, oh, the planet, but let me explain something to you. When you're on this planet, okay, you don't live here for free, okay? And it's not no hippie shit. It's not no, oh, let me get out and hug some trees because it's just the natural thing to do. No, the ground that supports your feet is because the earth allows it. Okay, the earth is a living vessel. Okay, I don't care if you got billions of dollars in your account. If you build a $40 million mansion, you have 6 cars, 6 Lamborghinis, 6 Rolls Royces, none of that shit matters if the ground beneath you caves under you. And like I said, when the ground beneath you caves under you, there's nothing you can do. When nature says, okay, I want to destroy some shit, it's no insurance that's going to protect you. It's no government that's going to protect you. When nature says something goes, it goes. Point blank, period. There's no way of getting around it. For centuries and millennium, men have tried to manipulate nature, and it does not work out. Okay, so it's the same thing. So when I mention the planet, I mean there are behaviors and patterns that your family is exhibiting that are not in conjunction with the natural frequency of the planet. Okay, and you have been chosen to clear that shit out and to make a new lineage so when these niggas die, okay, your lineage will be the new and improved lineage. Okay, so like I said, living on earth is not free. Okay, you have to, and even spirituality is not free. When you come into this shit, magic, crystals, law of attraction, or whatever, you're getting your energy from the planet, and the planet is a living thing. Like I said, it don't matter how many cars you got, how many houses you got. If the ground was to cave underneath those cars and the houses, there will be nothing you can do about it. And the earth allows humans to be here. Okay, the earth is naturally giving. Mother Nature is naturally giving, but Mother Nature can also take it away. and there will be nothing that you can do about it. So literally the ground that you are standing on to watch this video, no matter where you are, if you're in the house, in the car, there's something underneath you that's supporting you so you can have the stability to live your life. And that is planet Earth. And it is a living creature. So in a way, if planet Earth says this frequency isn't serving me, something needs to be done about it, it gets done, period. Brings me back. So when you're the black sheep, already your family knows that you're different before you realize that you're different. Usually other people can tell your potential before you can, okay? Like Christians used to always say, and I do hold this near and dear, and I do believe this to be true, the devil can recognize your potential before you can, okay? And that is a fact, all right? So being born into the black sheep, these are some of the signs that you might be the black sheep. If you notice that the way that the family dynamic is or how they interact with each other doesn't really relate to you, you're the black sheep. You can't relate to how they think. You can't relate to their values. You feel what I'm saying? You just know you're different. Like the way that they think and do stuff, like it kind of has a little, friction in regards to your being. Okay. And then because you are different, you might notice that most black sheeps are scapegoats. So black sheeps usually play a certain role in a dysfunctional family dynamic, and the black sheep is usually the scapegoat. So the scapegoat is like the sacrificial lamb, okay? So all of the family's problems, they'll try to blame it on you because you different and you think out the box and you don't think like them. You don't relate to them. The way that they live their lives and their values, you just don't fuck with it. You feel like it's at odds with your true being, okay? But subconsciously, you want to go along with it because you just like, this my family, da-da-da-da. Okay, so you're not crazy. You're not crazy. It's just you're the black sheep, okay? And Spirit has put you in that position to do something different with your lineage, because how your family's been functioning the last few generations is not benefiting anybody. It's just benefiting their destruction, and they don't even know it, right? Usually, too, and the black sheep are usually those who recognize dysfunction in the family. They might try to speak out about it, but of course they get shut down, they get criticized, and they get beat the fuck down because they realize they are different. And usually when it comes to the scapegoat, because the black sheep is so different, like I said, the black sheep is used as a scapegoat, the superficial lamb. So all of the problems, like I said, that the family has, they're going to blame on you because you're different. You don't go against the grain, and you threaten them because when you're the black sheep, you're like a and when you think different and want to have your own hobbies and do things different, your family's going to look at that as a threat because how they were raised, it's like you're like the contradiction of everything that they've been taught in their entire lives, you know? So how you've been raised, they're going to look at you like, you know, what the fuck is this person's problem? Like, imagine you driving on a highway, right? You just going straight, going to your destination, and there's a car coming the opposite direction of where you driving. You be like, nigga, you in the wrong lane. Like, what you doing? Like, how the fuck you driving down the opposite road of the fucking street? That's what the black sheep is. The black sheep is the motherfucker driving down the opposite road of the fucking street. And motherfuckers be, if you would ever see somebody drive down the opposite road of a street, you gonna look at them crazy. That's exactly how the black sheep is looked at in their family, okay? Usually is the person with the most potential, the most creativity, the most empathetic, the most sensitive, and the most spiritual, okay? Because, nigga, that's just who we are, okay? We was just implanted in families across the world to be an example of change and what they're not doing right. And like I said, they gang up on you and they beat up on you because they know your potential, right? They know your potential. They know you can supersede them. And especially if you're younger, when you're young and in a dysfunctional family dynamic where they have certain programs, they look at you as you remind your essence, and you just existing reminds them of their shortcomings, okay? Especially if you're a black woman in the black community. A lot of older women, Not all, because there's some older women that's cool, but most of older women be jealous of young black girls because we not having babies the same. We got different priorities. Now women are more career oriented, getting to the bag. And that excites envy and jealousy because your youth reminds you of the choices that they failed to make at your age. So it makes them insecure. So no, the reason that your family will try to bring you down as a black sheep, criticize you, try to isolate you, bring you down, is because they know you that nigga. They know that you have the most potential to be the most successful, and they can't have that. Like, it's like a crabs in a barrel type of mentality. Like, if we grew up the same, who are you to think different? If we grew up on an A, B, and C, and D, who are you to think that you're different? So when you're in a hive mind mentality, somebody who does different than you, even if they're related to you, you're going to be considered a threat. And like I said, it sucks, but it just is what it is, because usually a black sheep ends up being the goat, okay? Size, anything that you try to do, any external hobbies that you might have that your family's not interested in, they're going to criticize you, okay? And usually black sheeps are born into, and then this, let me back. Okay, let me back. Black sheeps usually were born to people who thought that having a baby would fix their emotional needs, okay? See, a lot of people be having kids now because they think a baby is going to fix everything. A baby is going to give them the love that they never had growing up. A baby is going to fix their self-esteem. They think that that baby is going to pour into them emotionally and heal their own wounds. Instead of taking their motherfucking ass to therapy, they think that a baby is going to fix their problems. Now, when usually a baby grows up, and because, you know, babies are just little people. Kids are just little itty bitty adults, okay? They have their own mind, their own energy signature, their own souls. Like, you can teach a child everything that you think they should know, but at the end of the motherfucking day, everybody got free will. Everybody can do what the fuck they want to do. There's no controlling that. The only thing that you can do is your best and let it the fuck go, okay? So usually, black sheeps are usually parents of people who usually thought that a baby's gonna fix my problems. I know that's what happened to me. Okay, I know my mother and my father. My mom had daddy issues, low self-esteem, a whole bunch of shit. She wanted to be a pretty girl, a certain type of image, and then my daddy was just a nigga with mommy issues. Okay, nigga with mommy issues. No, been abused by his mom. No ambition. No nothing. So I knew I was born because my mom wanted a family dynamic with my dad. But my dad really wasn't interested in becoming a father. My dad was a 25-year-old man. What 25-year-old man want to settle down? They rarely do. It's some out there, but most men at 25 do not want to settle down and be no daddy. They want to rip around the streets and do whatever the fuck they want to do. Okay? So usually when the black sheep baby grows up and they start to develop their own identity, they are resented by their parents because they're not acting in a way that the parents expected them to act. They're not giving and making their needs and fulfilling their voids like they expected it to do, because the baby has their own identity. Like, it's like a cause and effect. Like, a lot of people don't know that babies, a lot of people don't look at kids as people, and that shit crazy to me, especially like the older generation. Like, that's why so many fucked up older people, because a lot of them people did not believe that kids were people. Like, a lot of back then, especially in the black community, like back then, 80s, 70s, 60s, prior to that, kids wasn't looked at as people. Kids were looked at as they should be seen, not heard, okay? And you see how that turned out. All the motherfuckers born in the 60s, 70s, and 80s fucked up as hell and emotionally illiterate, okay? So like I said, your family will resent you. If you know you're that type of baby, your family will resent you because your parents probably had you to fulfill their needs. And when they realize you really had your own identity, they're going to resent you and try to bring you down, because they know that you have the capacity to do the things. They know that you have the capacity to do the things that they were too pussy to do. Point blank, period. Motherfuckers can see your potential, even your family, and it's fucked up. It shouldn't be like that. But you got to understand, the last 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 years or something, the vibration of the planet has been low. So it is kind of fucked up how parents is in competition with their kids, and mothers hate daughters, and sons aren't there for their children. It's fucked up. But you got to understand, the vibration of this planet has been taken down long ago. 3, 4, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 years ago, it wasn't like that. The vibration of the planet was a little bit higher. So now you have beings like me who are speakers to help elevate humanity so we can get back on a certain balance, because the world is unbalanced right now. Disclaimer, like I said, as the black sheep, you're not crazy. Your family treats you that way is because you were born into an already dysfunctional dynamic. Your family, your parents were already fucked up prior to you were born. You just was born and caught in the middle of the shit. So when they try to blame you for shit, scapegoat. I remember one time, bro, I was used to scapegoat. I was the scapegoat of everything in my family. Like, I remember one time my mom, she, over some stupid, I used to get blamed for the dumbest shit ever. Like, my mom, she tried to, it was around Christmas time. So we usually have Christmas parties and shit around the house. So we had like a 12-pack of lemonade. And my mom thought it was some lemonade missing. So my mom thought I took some lemonade to school and handed them out to my friends. And when she accused me, I'm like, bitch, I did what? Like, you accusing me of taking lemonades to my friends? Like, that's the stupidest shit ever. Like, she thought I took the lemonade. Whole time, it was my fucking grandma, her mom. Because my grandma used to come into our house and she used to steal our shit, like little perfumes or little pencils. She used to steal little shit. So my grandma, she's a hoarder. So she ended up taking the lemonades. And I got accused for it. And another example, I remember one time, this was either my mom, she used to do weird and cruel punishments against me. Like, if I got C's, I went to a school where there was no uniforms. If I got C's, my mom would make me wear uniforms to school when everybody else was wearing jeans and Hollister and Aeropostale and shit. Like, my mama really wanted to sabotage me to the point where she tried to fuck with my beauty, because my mama knew that I was an attractive child. I was attractive, I was smart. And the same things that they praised me for, that other people acknowledged about me, is the same thing that they hated me for. So I remember, I think I used to steal some of my clothes. I used to know where my clothes was, and I used to steal some of them and take them to school, because it's fucked up. Why I gotta wear uniforms to school? You feel what I'm saying? When everybody, that's fucked up. She used to really fuck with me and try to sabotage me. You feel what I'm saying? And I remember and when I kept taking my clothes, I used to get yelled at and get in trouble and get beat and shit. And I remember my stepdad, he had came in, he was just like, "You're ruining my marriage." And the whole time while he's saying I'm ruining his marriage, the nigga was cheating on her and gave her herpes. How the fuck did I ruin your marriage, nigga? Like, that shit crazy. You get blamed for the stupidest fucking shit. You get blamed when you're the scapegoat because you see the bullshit. You see that the family's dysfunction is some bullshit. You see that your family is one way in private, but in public, they try to display this, oh, we're together, we're a family. It be bullshit, bro. Like, I'll never forget that shit. My stepdaddy really tried to convince me of ruining his marriage. When this nigga was the one sticking his dick in other people, he put his hands on her and he gave my mama herpes. How the fuck am I ruining your marriage? You feel what I'm saying? Anyway, child, that's just what comes with being a black sheep, okay? You're different. You stand out, you know your family is full of shit, and they're gonna hate you for that shit. Like, I'm only relating to, and I'm sure, I don't care if you black, white, Hispanic, green, I don't give a fuck, but I'm sure in a way that you can relate to this dynamic. But I can only speak from the African American lens when I say that I recognize my family is traumatized. Like I said in my last two videos, after 1865, when slaves were free, it's like black people had the most trauma. And it's like, imagine you being held by your captor all your life, and then you got freedom all of a sudden. You don't know where to go. You got Stockholm syndrome. That's why some black people wanted to still be slaves. Some went to white people for hire. Other people, but it's like after that time, after slavery, we still were traumatized in the mind. So even though slavery was over physically, mentally, it was still ingrained in us, because trauma and abuse is ingrained in your nervous system. And if it's engraved in your nervous system, eventually it begins to fester in your DNA. So I come up from a family, my grandmother, she came from the era of, if you've seen The Color Purple. You know, she came from that era where, and her parents came from that era where, you know, it was a lot of sexual assault going on. It's a lot of pedophilia going on. It's a lot of abuse, especially of the women. Okay, a lot of the women were, their femininity was shut down. They couldn't have certain rights. You feel what I'm saying? It was just a whole bunch of bullshit. Like, if you've seen The Color Purple, that's exactly what my descendants came from. That similar lifestyle. Like, all that shit, right? So, I come from a family of people who like images. They like to present themselves in one way, but behind closed doors, they're another way. Okay? My grandmother raised 4 children, and mind you, my grandmother barely had a high school education. Any opportunities that my grandmother did get was sabotaged by her grandmother and her mother, because she told me. My grandmother, one time, she told me her whole story, how she could have had land in the Caribbean. She could have been a flight attendant. She could have modeled. She could have did all this shit. But every time she had an opportunity, the women in her family sabotaged. So that's why today, my grandma 80-something, damn near 90-something, she don't have shit to her name because she allowed her family to sabotage her opportunities. So, and naturally, when you have kids and when you're hurt and when you're burdened like that, you're going to do that to your children. So my grandmother did that to her children. And one of her children is, of course, my mother. And you have to really understand, like, I'm to the point now where now I don't take it personal because I understand who my mother was raised by. My mother was raised by a country bumpkin who didn't know shit about the world, but literally, and who taught her these outdated ass beliefs. Because secretly, my grandmother wanted to sabotage her daughters like her grandmother and her mother sabotaged her. And then in turn, my mother and my aunties wanted to do the same to me. And I was like, oh no. I got away from them motherfuckers. Them motherfuckers is crazy, okay? And I know they watching this motherfucking shit. I know y'all watching. I know y'all be watching me, especially the Shield, bitch. I know you watching me, girl. And I know, yes, I'm coming for your ass, and I'm telling the truth, and I don't care. Because, like I said, as the black sheep, once I cut my family off in 2021, that was the last straw. After I was in San Diego for 5-6 years, it's very painful to come back into your family and realize your like, you can move away from your hometown and everything, and you gonna realize your family is still the fucking same, bro. They still on the same bullshit. They still emotionally immature. They're still catty as hell. And it's just to the point where it was just adverse to my growth. I'm like, damn, I did all this spiritual progressing, all this healing, all this evolution. These motherfuckers is still the same. And these motherfuckers kept trying to tell me, you don't belong to us. Okay. And it's going to be natural because humans are community-oriented creatures, right? So it's a human need to want to have a community. So, of course, it's going to hurt at first, but when you get out into the world and when you leave, okay, you're going to understand that I've lived in 4 different states, okay? I've lived in 4 different states my whole life. This is me even prior to traveling. I haven't even traveled the world yet. So even in my experience of living in 4 different states in this country, there are so many different people. There are so many opportunities. There are so many different people that you come across that can provide you with new experiences. Your family does not have to be your blood. Once you are an adult, bro, that blood relative shit don't matter because your parents' job, main primary job, is to help you survive into a certain age. And once you survive into a certain age, they did that part. You know what I'm saying? Once you survive to a certain age, there's no need for them. Like, a lot of people, some people do have relationships with their parents, but now we're seeing that a lot of adults, children, are not fucking with their parents no more because their parents are stuck in old, outdated fucking beliefs. And they gotta go. They gotta go. I'm sorry. We're moving to the age of Aquarius, the age of technology. The way that our parents used to think, most of that shit does not apply today. For example, nigga, we got AI about to fucking take over. There's nothing in the Bible. There's nothing orally passed down from families 200, 300, 400 years ago that can prepare you for fucking AI. There needs to be a new There needs to be a new way of thinking because the world is developing, point blank period. The Bible don't prepare you for AI, nigga. The Bible don't prepare you for fucking aliens, nigga. We about to see in the next 300, 400 years, we about to see a whole bunch of different shit that we never seen before. It's the age of Aquarius. We on to some different shit now, okay? So you really need to understand that your parents are outdated if they don't want to grow. And like I said, you have to understand too, at 35, bro, after 35, the neurons are in place. It's like the neurons are frozen. So it's hard to change somebody's mind after 35 because their neurons have solidified. This is how I perceive the world, yada, yada, yada do. So anybody after 35, you cannot convince anybody because they're going to do what they want to do. They're going to think what they think is right. And that's fine. But just like how 300 years ago, it was a whole bunch of different values in this country. Where's some people 300 years ago that had, it was 300 years ago, motherfuckers thought that slavery was okay. Where are those people now? They dead and in the ground and nobody thinks like that no more. Well, at least majority of people don't think like that no more. They're dead. So a lot of our parents' values, don't trip too much. Don't try to convince your parents. Don't try to convince your family of shit. Just let them die, bro, because their values are going to die with them. I know that sounds kind of fucked up, but it's the truth. Not everything that our parents teach us is correct, and we need to understand that. You're the black sheep, and you're in a family dynamic that is dysfunctional. And if you still depend on your family, that's completely okay. My advice is to stack your money, move out. Personally, I went to the military. You know what I'm saying? I joined the Navy and I never looked back. Okay. Like, I'm out the Navy now, but I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I knew it's either was I come to Atlanta or I go back to Detroit. And going back to Detroit was not an option. So I moved my black ass down here to Atlanta because I feel like me moving back to Detroit with my family is just going to place me 10 steps backwards to all the progress I made when I was away. And I can't be around them. Okay. When you're the black sheep, your family, you're going to have to accept that. Your family does not want the best for you. They're envious and jealous of you because you can do things that they're too pussy to do. And that's not your fault. Because like I said, these people already had issues before you were even born. So the best thing I can recommend, if you still living with your family and your parents and you are a part of this dynamic, or the black sheep, you get blamed for shit that you don't even do. You get blamed for shit that you never even thought about. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I used to get blamed for shit that never even crossed my line. Like, I used to be like, you don't even know me for real. Because if you knew me for real, you knew I would never do no bull. And it's like, no matter how much you plead, like, bro, I didn't do this shit. Because you're different, they just don't think you're the rebel. You know what I'm saying? They think you're the rebel because you're not a follower. You're not just going on the values. Oh, just this is how the family is. Like, they're going to criticize you for it. And that's okay because you're meant to break that shit. Leave them niggas where they at. They not going to change. Okay? So I want to give some examples of, some of the signs that you can tell that you're in a dysfunctional family dynamic or in a narcissistic family dynamic. Because like I said, the black sheep is assigned a role. There's 3 roles that children play in a narcissistic or in a dysfunctional family dynamic. There's the black sheep, there's the invisible child, and there's the golden child. My youngest brother is the golden child. Okay, my middle brother is the my second youngest brother is the middle child. He's the invisible child, and I'm the black sheep. I'm the one that got away. I'm the one that they talk about even when I'm not there. And you know what they say, baby? All press is good press, baby. They can't stand my black ass. I wouldn't stand my black ass either. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so yeah. Leave them niggas alone, man. So I'm gonna give you some examples of certain dynamics that might be familiar to you so you can know, hey, this isn't normal. Because for the longest time, I was mistreated so much by my family because I was different, to the point I thought it was normal. To the point I thought it was something wrong with me. But like I said, the crazy shit is the shit that they hated me for, they also admired me about. You feel what I'm saying? Like, Dysfunctional families, narcissistic families, they don't love you unless you do something to the public that benefits them. Meaning their love is not unconditional. Their love is conditional, right? So, for example, I was known in my family to be the best at technology. I was the best at reading. I knew random facts. I knew shit about Greek mythology and shit like that. Like, I was a very intelligent child. I knew shit about, I was the best at science. My mom would ask me to, my mom got her PhD. My mom would ask me to look over her papers and shit. I was like the paper English reviser because I was good at writing papers and good at words and shit. Like I said, they resented my gifts, but when it benefited them, they ain't had no problem with it. I remember one time I was at the Detroit Zoo and we were seeing some alligators. And I don't know why, it's like this older white couple. I don't know, I was talking to them and I was saying, like, I was like 5, 6 years old. And I was telling them, like, you know, these are alligators. Alligators have wider snouts and crocodiles have more narrow snouts. That's how you can tell. And the white couple was like, oh my God, you're so intelligent. I didn't even know that. Oh my God, you feel what I'm saying? They acknowledging me as a child because I'm that nigga. I always been that nigga. And like I said, here come my mom. Oh, da da da, yeah, this my baby, da da da, this my baby. But whole time, behind closed doors, my family, my mama and everybody would secretly hate me because I knew shit like that. You feel what I'm saying? Like, how the fuck a 5-year-old know the difference between an alligator and a crocodile? Me! Okay? And like I said, I used to get praised for that shit in public. But in private, oh, niggas would hate me. Oh, how you gonna do this? Oh, and then I grew up in a family of women who were, women on my mom's side of the family, I like to call them dick warriors. They're dick warriors. They are the type of women that put men above them. You will call them pick-meshas. Okay, these be the type of bitches that feel like they gotta oppress a man with their accomplishments. They gotta do all this shit to keep a man and shit like that. Baby, I don't agree with that. Okay, these men love me. These men come to me. Okay, I don't gotta do shit when it comes to these men. Like my mom and her siblings and my grandma, they pick me's. They believe in catering to men just because they got penises. That's it. They believe that the man is above here and women above here. No, baby, I don't believe in that. I be dog walking the fuck out these niggas, okay? And these niggas know. You either do what I say or you can get the fuck on because there's a nigga that wants your place. Point blank, period. And they hate that shit about me, okay? Because they know that I have the ability to seduce. They know I have the ability to, if I wanted to, nigga, I don't gotta do nothing with a man. Getting a man is the easiest thing to obtain. You can pull a man when you minding your business. That's how I be pulling niggas. I be pulling niggas by minding my business. I be out minding my business and here come a man. They don't believe in that. They're very masculine in nature. And then they see my sexy fine ass 28. When around my time when my mom and her siblings was 28, they had kids. They was stressed out. My mom, I think around my age, my mom was probably getting ready to be in her second marriage, baby. And here I am, 28. I don't do none of that. I ain't got no kids. I don't pay no bills. I'm chilling. And they hate me. And I'm not gonna lie, I would hate me too. Signs and symptoms to see how dysfunctional your family is and to kind of just help y'all realize patterns that dysfunctional families partake, especially when you're the black sheep, okay? So the first symptom that you the first sign that you're in a toxic family dynamic is learned helplessness, okay? This is a process called infantilization, okay? Infantilization is a concept that your family puts on you. Like you can be 25 years old, but your parents still, or your family still views you as that 8 or 9 year old. So they purposely keep you infantile, so you can't help yourself. So if you stuck at home with your toxic ass family, and you're not seeing, they're not helping you move on, but they also criticizing you for being there. It's like, that's infantilization. They want to keep you purposely helpless. They want to keep you in a mental state of you can't defend, you can't have financial independence, you can't move out on your own. They do this shit on purpose. So they program you to think that you will always need them so they can keep feeding off your energy and supply, okay? Because like I said, if the black sheep was to leave, they would have to find another emotional toilet to dump their shit on, okay? So if you're the black sheep of your family, that's your role that you play. You play the emotional toilet. So every time your family has a problem, they be in denial about their shit, but whole time the problem you. And then even if you remove yourself, they start to realize, oh shit, we still having these same problems, even though the black sheep removed themselves. Yeah. So that's so you can kind of see that when they try to keep you infantile, okay? When they don't want to help you, they don't want to help you get money for a car. Like my mama wouldn't even give me an allowance. Like she did, I could say a total of maybe 5-6 times, but my mama didn't teach me shit about money management. She didn't teach me, like my mom purposely, I feel like on purpose, she wanted me to be dependent on her so she could have access to me because I was her energy source. She used to always tell me like, without you, you are my motivation for me going to school so hard, because she was ciphering my motherfucking energy to make herself successful. So when you're a chosen one, when you're a light being, when you're a light worker, people, including your family and your friends, will use your light, will use your gifts to benefit themselves. Even though they resent you and hate you for your gifts, they know your gifts and they will want to use them for themselves. So this is why dysfunctional families want to keep you docile. They want to keep you dependent on them financially, so you will always be with them, okay? And like I said, that's called infantilization. Okay, so look into that. Number 2, I'm sure y'all heard of this, guilt tripping. A dysfunctional family, whenever you try to express different hobbies, or you want to move on, or you want to do something different to your life, or you want to move away from them, they'll start to they'll start to guilt trip you. Look at everything that I did for you, all the sacrifices I made. Don't fall for that shit. It's a mental thing. You did not ask these people to give birth to you. Whoever your parents are, it's your parent. You are a reflection of your parents' choices. Don't let your fucking family fucking guilt trip you when you didn't ask these motherfuckers to be born. Fuck that. That's how they fucking keep you. Oh, remember when I was 5, I used to feed you and clothe you. I made sacrifice for you. Nigga, that's the consequences that come with sex. Okay? Everybody know sex is a reproductive activity. Okay? Every single time you have sex, you risk either STDs or pregnancy. Before sex was even used as a pleasure mechanism, it's first and foremost a reproductive mechanism. So never let your mama, your grandma, your daddy, your uncle, your cousin make you feel guilt tripped, nigga. That's what family do. They help people, especially if you're a young person, you a child. You can't help that you had needs when you 5, 6, 17 years old. Nigga, that's not your fault that you needed them. They had you. Don't fall for that shit. Number 3 is enmeshment, okay? Enmeshment is when everybody in your family has the same ideologies, they do the same thing. So like I said, if you have your own identity, hobbies, beliefs, opinions, they're going to criticize you for that, and then you're going to feel the need to conform because, like I said, it's that human need for community. Like, it's that basic root chakra shit. So you're going to be like, okay, you're going to gaslight yourself. Like, damn, maybe my opinions ain't right, or maybe my hobbies are wrong because my family disapproves of them. No, your family wants you to go along with the get along because somebody being different makes them uncomfortable. Okay. So, and even then, when you try to suppress your hobbies and your opinions and your own identity, that when you know you're different from your parents, this is going to cause you to gaslight yourself and have problems with your identity growing up, because at your true core as a child, you know you were different, but you had to suppress your individual identity so you can feel safe, so your family can give you love. Baby, that's not real love, honey. That's called enmeshment. Okay, and that's what my mom and her siblings do with each other. My mom used to claim all the time, oh, me and my siblings have a good bond, and I want you and your brothers to have a good bond. Girl, you and your siblings hate each other deep down. The only reason why y'all keep coming back to each other because y'all got the same abuser, which is your mama. Your mama didn't put y'all through sexual assault. Your mama didn't beat y'all like y'all was fucking Alabama slaves. Your mama didn't beat the shit out y'all, embarrassed y'all, belittled y'all. So of course y'all gonna stick together because, bitch, that's called a trauma bond. And so like my mom mistakes the bond with her siblings as love, when it's really a trauma bond. The only reason, like, y'all really deep down can't stand each other. Y'all still resent each other for whatever the fuck y'all did to each other as kids. Because my mama used to tell me the fucked up shit that my auntie used to do to her, like steal her clothes or steal her shit. So, and that ain't no bond. It's called enmeshment. Okay, so like I said, when you start to have your own identity, you're gonna gaslight yourself. Damn, maybe me being different, maybe my own ideas aren't right. And then as you grow up, you're gonna struggle to find your own identity because you didn't suppress your real self and your real opinions and your real thought processes to try to blend in with your family so you can feel like you belong. It's a trap. Number 4, hypervigilance. Okay, so hypervigilance usually happen where you ever live with your parents or your grandma, and like I said, I know this happened a lot with black families too. When you keep the lights on or dishes in the sink, and it's like you never can predict your caretaker's moves, so you always have to be on hyper alert. Like, oh shit, I gotta make sure I turn the light off. I gotta make sure it is clean, because if I don't, you know, this motherfucker gonna start yelling and create a disturbance in the environment. So hypervigilance usually happen where you feel like you gotta walk on eggshells to appeal your family or to appeal your caregiver that you live with, because you can never predict their moves. And that shit really fucks with your mind. That shit fucks with your nervous system, because eventually when you grow up, you're gonna find it really hard, even if you get your own apartment or your own house and you moved out your family, you're gonna find it hard to relax, because throughout your childhood and your teenhood, you have to fucking walk on eggshells about, oh, turning off a light, oh, I left the fork in the sink, or oh, my bad, I left the paper towel on the floor. And then if I don't pick up that paper towel, that motherfucker gonna get mad and I'm gonna get yelled at. You feel what I'm saying? That's called hypervigilance. So like I said, as you grow older, no matter if you moved away from your family, that's gonna fuck with your mind, because your nervous system is so used to being in an environment where you gotta be on alert. Like, I don't know if this motherfucker gonna get mad at me because I left the light on. I don't know if they gonna get mad at me because I ain't cleaned the bathroom. I don't know if they gonna get mad. That fucks up the nervous system. That is not right. Okay, we think it's normal because it's how we were raised, but sometimes how we were raised is not normal. Okay, so that's a symptom number 4 that you're in a toxic family dynamic. Number 5, family debts. Guilt. This is kind of in conjunction with the guilt tripping. Your family or your parents might make you might program you to make it seem like you owe them. Okay, these are the parents who will expect you to retire them, give back after everything they done for you. My grandmother does this with her kids. Okay, my grandmother expects her kids to help her financially, but the reason she's not intelligent enough to realize that the reason why your kids don't help you and why you don't have shit today is because you literally abused your kids when you were growing up. So my grandmother, I used to feel sorry for my grandma used to give me all these sad sob stories. Oh, my kids don't ever help me, and I did everything for my kids. I helped them babysit. I used to give them down payments for their car. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do. You had sex. These kids ain't asked you to be here. So be wary with parents who try to make you their retirement plan to try to help you try to get you to take care of them. If your parents was abusive and you didn't like your parents, I knew as a child I didn't like my mom. Like, I would gaslight myself and be like, okay, no, this is my mom. Maybe it's just me. No, my mom was not a nurturing person. My mom she was a very masculine woman. She was the type of woman, she was a good provider, but a terrible nurturer. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I had the best clothes. I had Hollister. I had all the Converse. When skinny jeans and the jerkin and shit was popular and the guy had all that shit. I went to the best schools. I lived in a good ass environment. But my mom, she was not a nurturer. She was like a man in a skirt. She was not nurturing because her mother wasn't nurturing her. When it comes to your family, don't let your family make you think like you owe them something. Like I said, you didn't ask to be here. Them people decide to have sex. Okay, like I said, everybody knows that sex is a reproductive activity. That is a program. Feeling guilty because your parents did some shit for you, that's what they're supposed to do. Okay, and if they don't do it, they're gonna get arrested by the state. Okay, because the state don't play about child neglect. Okay, so don't let your parents feel bad. Oh, I helped did this. You had to. It's the law. It's the law to be required to take care of kids, send them to school, feed them, clothe them. Don't let your parents make you feel bad for that. You didn't ask to be here. They was the one that was humping and hunching and busting nut, not you. Okay? And this is really done. This guilt tripping or feeling like you owe your family something. It's a program. It's a mental program from keep you from moving on from them. You feel what I'm saying? Like, cause to keep you from just saying fuck them niggas. Like, it's a program to keep you still enmeshed in the family so you can play your role in the dysfunction. Because like I said, all dysfunctional families need somebody who's the emotional dumpster. They need the black sheep to be the emotional toilet. So that's your role, black sheep, is to be the emotional toilet. That's why you need to get away from the motherfuckers. Another example if you know you're in a toxic family dynamic is if you feel like your love is not conditional. So you're not loved for you. You're loved for how you can make the family look good. Like I said earlier, they resented me for the gifts that I had, the ability to do science, the ability to know Greek mythology, the ability to be really good with technology and shit. All that shit that I was really good at. It's like I said, they want your gifts to benefit them. But if you use your gifts as your own to try to build your own new life separate from them, they gonna hate you. So in a dysfunctional family, you know you're in a dysfunctional family dynamic if you're not loved unconditionally. If you love for what you can do, not who you are, you're in a dysfunctional, toxic, narcissistic family dynamic, okay? And in doing this, okay, and with you, and then in doing this, now you're gonna feel like not only in this relationship with your family, but in relationships with the world, whether it's friends or lovers, you're gonna feel like your love has to be earned. So when you grew up in a family who only loved you based on if you made them look good, you're going to register that as, damn, I have to perform to be loved. So you're going to be, when you grow up and start to be an adult and start to get on your own, you're going to have people-pleasing tendencies. You're going to find yourself in toxic relationships where you're giving more to the person's giving to you. You feel like you have to perform and be needed for somebody to love you. And that is the greatest trick of all. You have to be careful with that because your family has conditioned you that the world will only love you if you do something for them. And that's not the case. So I'm here to let you know you're not crazy. You do not have to work to be loved. It is them. You were born into a family dynamic that was already fucked up prior to your birth, okay? So you have to be careful with that. Because like I said, deep down when you feel like you have to earn the love of your family, you will have subconscious beliefs that you're not worthy of love, that you have to self-sacrifice to be loved. And that's further from the truth, honey. That's how you get taken advantage of. And you ever notice, even if this does resonate, have you ever been in a relationship where you gave more to the other person, the motherfucker just took from you? It's because your family has programmed you that love is earned. Love is not earned. Either people fuck with you or they don't fuck with you. And your family don't fuck with you. So that's why you thinking you got to go out to the world and you got to perform to be loved. And that's some bullshit. Number 7. You're stuck in a haze. So when you grow up in a toxic family dynamic, that takes a toll on you mentally and your nervous system. The hypervigilance where you gotta clutch up yourself and try to walk on eggshells because you don't know how you'll care. That's how my mom was. My mom was a very unstable caregiver. I didn't know if this bitch was gonna be happy one day and she was gonna be sad the next day. It was just too much to the point it fucked with your nervous system. So from them gaslighting you, like if you express your dreams, they'll shut down your dreams and laugh at you. Like I remember one time we was at Cheesecake Factory and I told them when I get out the military I was moving to Atlanta. My whole family laughed at me like, yeah, you is gonna be in a box living on Atlanta streets, da 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 da. And look at me now. I'm in a 3-bedroom townhouse, baby, rent free. I don't pay no rent, honey. Okay, and why them bitches is busting their motherfucking ass and can't maintain long-term relationships. Huh? Okay, so basically all the gaslighting that they did, all the putting you in flight or fight mode because you're trying to predict their actions, that does fuck with your amygdala. Now the amygdala is a part of your brain, okay, that is responsible for your emotions, and Also, that trauma too can fuck with your hippocampus, and your hippocampus controls short-term memories. So when you're in that dynamic, I would notice like your mind be hazy. Like after they gaslight you so much, you start to think like, damn, maybe I am the problem. Maybe I am this and this and this, or A and B and C. No, it's manipulation. And when somebody manipulates you all your life and tells you that your idea is wrong, that fucks with your mind, bro. Like I said, toxic families ain't just toxic families. Abuse, whether it don't even have abuse, whether physical, emotional, psychological, fucks with your nervous system, bro. It fucks with your hippocampus. And that's why these last 2 years I've been in hermit mode, because I realized I had so much fucking damage from my family, bro. It was crazy. I didn't even know my nervous system was damaged. Like, I used to have anxiety out the ass and I could never fucking relax because I went through a toxic family. My caregivers were unstable and they were gaslighting and they were psychologically abusive. So when somebody continues to psychologically abuse you for the first 25 years of your life, that takes a toll on your hippocampus, which starts to dilute short-term memory. So sometimes you might have problems focusing, sometimes you may have problems staying grounded, you might have problems staying in the present, you might have problems meditating because you need to heal your hippocampus. And like I said, there's plenty of binaural beats that calm the nervous system, and that's how I was able to fucking do it. Okay, like I said, I can laugh and joke about this shit now, but at the time it wasn't funny. But because I'm over it and I'm healing through it, I can laugh at it. I realized them bitches was some haters this whole time, and they knew I was the shit, and I'm that shit, and I'm the nigga. I'm that nigga. Okay. So yeah, being stuck in a haze is another example of being in a toxic family dynamic. Okay, like I said, the gaslighting, psychological manipulation fucks with your brain, literally. So look that shit up. And lastly, feeling like you're running out of time is the last example of how you know you grew up in a dysfunctional family dynamic. So in dysfunctional family dynamics, there is no time for rest. Making sure you are always tired, short on rest, burnt out is a sure way to keep you stuck and attached to the family. Your worth has now become based on your productivity for the family, not for yourself, of course. You spend so much time making sure everything is running smoothly in the family. You have zero time to even build a life for yourself. You can't even rest in your own body. Your anxiety is at an all-time high. Later on, this leads to burnout, chronic illness, and disruptions in the nervous system. Okay, so like I said, I just talked about that. I know I grew up with a mom. My mom, she's a Mars and Gemini. Mars and Gemini people always on the go, always gotta be doing something. My mama even told me herself, I can't relax, I can't sit down. So as a child, that's what she did to me. I remember one time, like, I didn't know her and my daddy. I knew her and my daddy was arguing, but I didn't know she was leaving. Like, I remember one time, like, and I think that fucked me up for life. Like, not for life, but I think that fucked me up for a minute, because it's just like, you ain't providing me no stability. Like, every other day you get into my dad, and then the last time we was living at the house with my parents, like, she uprooted me and moved us back to my grandma's house. I didn't know. So it's just being with an erratic caregiver can make you feel like you're short on time. You just feel like time is slipping. You feel like that resting is a waste of time because you are with caregivers who were not, who nervous system was not balanced. They were not stable. They were not balanced. So in turn, it fucks with you. Okay. Like I said, I've healed all of this shit. That's why I don't talk to them niggas. That's why them niggas can't even say shit to me, because I already know what the fuck it is. Not like, now that I got into psychology and I read that book, The Adults of Emotionally Immature Parents, that kind of shed a lot of light on my childhood, and I realized, damn, I wasn't crazy. I really been that nigga this whole time. So now I can really be myself. So those are just some of the examples of the signs that you may experience if you've been raised in a toxic family dynamic. Like I said, at first, when you do decide to move away from your family, don't think that that's just the end all be all. Okay, you did the first step. The first step is getting away from them, eliminating all contact. If you can stay in contact with them, if you can stand to stay in contact with them, hold contact to a minimum. But me, baby, I'm all or nothing. Like, I don't fuck with them niggas at all. I don't like them niggas. They don't like me. And that just is what it is. I'm the shit. They a bunch of fucking fat ass, old ass, washed up ass bitches. So, in turn, ain't really nothing I can do. I'm still that shit. I'm still a nigga. So, if you are in a if you are in a toxic family dynamic, like I said, do your best, stack your money, and move away as soon as possible. Explore your options, do what you gotta do, because like I said, those people are not gonna get better. They're not gonna change. If they're over 35, they're lost. Okay, like I said, you're here to start a new lineage. Okay, let them niggas think what they want to think about you. When you leave, they gonna slander your name. They gonna tell everybody that you this horrible motherfucking person. But at the same time, with telling motherfuckers you this horrible person, they gonna try to reach out to you and to get you back. You feel what I'm saying? That's what my family tried to do. Like, my mom, she tried reaching out to me, and my auntie called herself fucking bullying me into talking to the family back. Like, you gotta be a loser ass bitch to bully a motherfucker to get somebody to talk to you. Like, these bitches are some losers. Like, I thought I was the problem. And you gotta think about it like that too. If I'm the problem as the black sheep, why do y'all want to talk to me? Why are y'all trying to get in contact with me? Why do y'all want me back in the family dynamic? If I'm the problem, if the problem has disappeared, then everything should be smooth sailing. There should be no problem if the problem's gone. So if I'm the problem, why you keep reaching out to the problem? To try to get in contact with them. To try to fucking bully. My auntie tried to fucking last year, couple weeks after my birthday, she sent me this whole text message like I said, the guilt tripping and the gaslighting. Oh, my sister did everything for you. She sent you to college and you're so ungrateful. Like, bitch, that's what you're supposed to do. Bitch, like, you want a fucking cookie because you had sex? And that's, like I said, some of these older parents be wanting a cookie because they had sex. Like, bitch, it ain't nothing to get pregnant. You should have used a condom. It ain't nothing to fucking get pregnant. Everybody knows sex has consequences. Sex is a reproductive activity. You risk pregnancy, whether condom, no condom, birth control, no birth control. You risk conception of a child every single time you have sex. So I'm not about to be punished because your sister was irresponsible when she had sex and didn't know no motherfucking better. That's not my motherfucking problem, okay? So don't let your family do that shit, because they will try to guilt trip you and fuck them. Because like I said, you didn't ask them to be born. So no. And like I said, I know them motherfuckers still talking about me. They be watching my shit. If I'm the problem, why are you still watching me? If I'm the problem, why are you still trying to contact me so I can get in contact with you? Make it make sense, okay? Full of shit. Anyway, I hope this video was helpful. I'm gonna show my baby picture, honey. Look at this baby. Look how pretty I was as a baby, okay? This was me. You can tell that I was sent to fuck some shit up. You can tell that God hand selected me to come down to this planet. Look at this baby. This me, 1995, okay? This me. I do this shit for this baby right here, which is me, okay? I knew I was the shit. Just look at me. Look at me. Look at it. Okay? So, anyway, I know this was long-winded, but with that being said, I really hope this was helpful. Feel free to put y'all experiences down in the comment section. I know some of y'all can relate to this. I hope that I helped y'all to give y'all the real. Sometimes it be fuck your family, bro. Like, you gotta look at nature. Some species, after a certain age, they go about their way to make their own prize. They have their own mates, and they never see their family again. Like, sometimes human, you gotta understand your need for community, to want to be with your family, is a human biological need. But with discipline of the mind, you can suppress that. You not suppress that need, but you can redirect that need into actually meeting people who are on your similar wavelength, your soul family. So most times, your real family isn't your real family. Your soul family is those who resonate with you at the heart. They love you for you. And like I said, I've met people like that. That's what gave me the automatic push to actually move on from my family, is because I've been in the Navy. Like I said, the Navy, I met so many people in the Navy, even people outside the Navy. When I was in California, I met so many friends, people who fuck with me who didn't know me for a campaign. I've had strangers treat me better than my family. So that was my motivate, and I can talk to anybody. You feel what I'm saying? I can talk and make friends with anybody. Black, white, Asian, Puerto Rican, Spanish, Indian, Alaskan. Bitch, I can make friends with anybody. So I already know, like, I don't need my family. Like, they them and I'm me, and I'm finna live my life, and you gotta feel the same way. This don't happen overnight though. Don't feel like this shit about to happen overnight. This shit took me at least 2 years to get to this place where I can really be like, fuck them niggas, and focus on the people who actually really fuck with me. Okay, so that's my advice to y'all. I hope this was helpful. I hope I gave y'all some very valuable information. Once again, I'm still doing PDF readings on your natal chart. I'll list all my contact information in the description. And until next time, bye.